want to do is I want to just cover off some of the campaigns that we've been running for various clients, just so you get a feel for what companies can do to actually improve their marketing and some of the results that you can get when you start doing that. So if you've got any questions, obviously stick them in the chat down below. I'll keep an eye on the chat. Sometimes I forget, but I'll keep an eye on the chat. And let me also can I put a banner up here? Captions, there we go. Let me have a look here. Let me just add a caption. Do you have a marketing question about your website or marketing campaigns? And then if you've got anything you want to ask, please ask me and I can answer those questions. And I probably spelled something wrong there, but let me just show that. There we go. I want to display. No, that's not what we want. Not that one. Do you have a marketing question? There we go. I think it's that one. Do you have a marketing question about your website? So stick it in the box down below if you do have anything, and I'll keep an eye on chat in the meantime. But just before we go through any questions that people have, I just wanted to cover off a couple of different things that you could do in your business. So the way that the growth engine works is that it's like a jam donut. So if you imagine the jam in the middle, that's where all the good stuff happens. So there's things like landing page conversions, your website, a sales process, all of that should be in place. And that's what we call the jam inside the donut, effectively. Once you've actually got that set up, then, and only then, can you actually start running traffic to it. So the traffic then really only comes from 5 different places. So you've got Google ads, you've got Facebook ads, you've got email marketing, you've got SEO, and then you've got content. Those are the 5 pillars that you'll actually use to drive traffic, but you should only be driving traffic to the landing pages and the sales processes once they're actually in place. And I think this is what a lot of people actually get wrong. They create a load of content and it's like, okay, what's your landing page? Oh, I've not done that yet. Right, well, how's that going to work then? If you've not actually got your landing page and you've not got your sales process signed up, how's that going to work? And it doesn't, basically. So you're spending all this time creating content, little TikTok dances, whatever that might be, but also you're spending money driving Facebook ads and Google ads to this traffic. So let me just cover 4 things that most people get wrong. So let me have a look here. You've got a fuzzy offer. So like, you know, when a client comes on board and we say to them, what is your actual offer? What is it? And they go, I don't know. I mean, literally, this is what people say. They go, I actually don't know what my offer is. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't know what your offer is, and this is your business, then your clients aren't going to know what the offer is either. So anything that's fuzzy, anything that creates confusion around what you actually sell means you're probably not going to sell it. And if you actually don't know, and people go, well, you know, what are you going to sell? And people say, well, it depends. Okay, what does that mean? Well, I'm not sure. Like, is it detailed? No, it's in my head. You ain't going to sell it. It's got to have clarity around what the offer is. Confusion will kill a sale, by the way, just so you know. So next one is no clean tracking. So if you don't know how many website visitors are landing on your website or how many people are landing on the landing page, and you don't know what your conversion rate is, that is like me trying to beat Usain Bolt in 100 meters and not timing how fast my 100-meter runs are and just guessing. And that's what most people do. They end up just guessing. And then they wonder why the marketing doesn't work because they don't know how many people are actually seeing the offer even. Oh, no, we've tried that. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't sell. Okay, how many people have actually seen your offer? I don't know. Right, well, how do you know what's working and what's failing? Is it a traffic problem? Is it a landing page problem? Is it a conversion problem? This is why you want to get these things sorted out up front and first. And then the next one really is a slow follow-up or no follow-up at all. This is why things like email and nurturing sequences, this is why this is so important. So when someone downloads your free guide or puts their email address in to get something back, and you have 0 emails going out to them, then obviously that's not going to work. Why would it? And then the other thing is a lack of consistency. in terms of actually putting content out. You might feel the buzz and do 10 videos this week and then nothing for the next 6 weeks. That isn't going to work. I mean, if you do 10 videos this week and you record them, like schedule them out once every week for the next 10 weeks. And at least you've got some level of consistency going out there. But if you don't do that, you've got no consistency at all. And so that's not going to work. And so that's where you're going to have some problems. So let me just go back to, okay. So for example, let me give you some example of businesses. I'm not going to talk about what the industry is. I'm actually going to try and avoid talking about industries, because one of the problems when we talk about an industry is that you think, oh, this will only work in that industry. And that's not necessarily true. This will work in all sorts of industries. And so I just want to take the industry off, just so that you kind of understand that, or you don't put a limitation on what industry you think this will only work in, because this stuff works in all industries. As long as you've got your jam donut and the center is your landing page and your sales process, and then all the traffic that's going to send all the traffic over to those. So this one was, it was an assessment. Usually it's 70 quid for an assessment, and we got them to run a 50% off offer, and it's an initial first assessment where there's repeat sales coming in. So we got them from 70 quid down at 35 pounds, 50% off offer. So it had a really clear entry point of a 35 pounds first assessment. And again, I'm not going to say what the industry actually is. So we had a landing page. The headline detailed what the outcome was. Discover the secret to this, or find out if you suffer from this, or do you suffer from this? This is how you can fix it. £35 for your first assessment. We had one call to action, which was book a call, and it was via an online booking system like Calendly, like we use on our own website. So we would have Google Analytics installed, and we were running Facebook ads. It started at £5 a day, increased to £10, eventually went to £20 a day within like a 10-mile radius. So it was all local traffic, and it was pain-led. Let me give you an example. And again, one of the problems with examples is people then limit, oh, that worked in that business, but it won't work in mine. But I'll just give you a random example. Pain relief. Let's just say it was a chiropractor. It's not, but let's say it is. Let's say they had a back pain. First assessment's normally 70 quid. Now it's £35. Is that going to get that person in? Potentially. But the headline is about pain relief. Fed up of having a bad back, why not come and get it in? 50% off your first assessment. Brilliant. At least now you're going to know what the thing is, and then you can upsell them. We then retargeted the people who landed on the landing page, and we would spend £10 a day on that. And then on the landing page, it was like a coupon or a discount code. Claim your 50% off coupon. So then they'd have to put in their name and email address. Really cool way of doing it. And then also when they put in their name and email address, it would redirect them to a sales page so that they would pay the £35 and then they would redeem that voucher. But this is a two-step process. So what would happen is that on that initial process, they just claim your voucher, they put in their name, their email address, and their phone number, and then it would redirect them to make payment. Those people who filled in the first bit but didn't fill in the second bit and didn't make a payment, they would then go into a nurture sequence, which is really cool. So in 30 days, they got 27 inquiries. Cost per lead was £18. Think about that. Cost per lead was £18, £35 for a first assessment. 55% of them booked, by the way. So we've got 15 appointments at 35 quid. So we just run the numbers on that. So 15 appointments, 15 times 35. So it's £525 in the first 30 days. We spent £600 on the initial ad spend. Now, bear in mind that off those 15 appointments, if you've diagnosed somebody, and again, we're using the example of a chiropractor, but that's not what this business actually was. It's just for example purposes only. But if you imagine that when you get assessed, do you think a proportion of those people are going to go back and actually pay the full price of £70? Yeah. Let's just make up the numbers here. Let's assume 7 of those did that. So there's another £700. And how many other times are they going to go back to the chiropractor? 2 or 3, 3 or 4? Just depends what it is, really, doesn't it? But this is a really cool way of generating leads, giving an offer. Now you're building goodwill. Then they go to your thing and you can give them little business cards saying, was this useful? Yeah, give 50% off to your friends. Like, there's a really good way of doing it. So that worked really well. The next one was a roofing company. And actually, we don't like saying the trade, but it's a roofing company. And so we actually gave a free roof check. So we offered a free roof check with a photographic report. Now, this is the thing. When you say something like, well, we're going to give you a report, there's something in the 6 Rules of Selling. I can't remember what it's called, by Robert Cialdini. And one of his is called reciprocity, where you give something and they give you something back. The fact that they're getting a photo report speaks volumes in terms of goodwill. And Oxfam and not Oxfam, Cancer, Imperial Cancer used to do this. They would send you an envelope and it would have a pen in it with a little bit of ink. And so because they gave you that, you would then be more likely to give them money. And actually they tested this and that's exactly what happened. And so because you're giving a free roof health check, and then you're actually getting a photographic report, and obviously it's a detailed report, like 6 to 8 pages. Some of it is copy and pasted, but obviously if it's photographs, you've got to put them in, you've got to give a summary and so on. Because of that, you're actually benefiting from this reciprocity level. Influence was the book. So it's a form of influence, so that when you go out and do this for a potential client and other roofing companies are not doing this and they turn up in a van that looks like it's from Trotters Independent, from Only Fools and Horses, it speaks volumes. They're going to come more with you than they have somebody else. So they had a landing page with before and after images, and we actually had a WhatsApp on there because people are much more inclined to WhatsApp those people to get the conversation started. And then it was down to someone just to WhatsApp them back. Yeah, I can get there tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I'll bring the ladders, bring the van. We'll get a full photographic report so you can actually see what's going on, and a summary of how we can fix it, what the costs are going to be. Even if your costs are more higher than the next guy, there's still a better chance of you closing that because you've acted with professionalism because of this photographic report. So we'd send them traffic via Google and Meta to homeowners within 8 miles, £25 a day. We'd have retargeting ads as well with testimonials, which is really cool. And then we'd create a little bit of content, 1 shot per day, before and after, just to reinforce what was happening. And that worked incredibly well. That generated a whole bunch of leads. 38 leads. Cost per lead was £23. 9 jobs closed. An average job was about £1,200. Pipeline for bigger repair works booked out for the next 3 weeks as well. So obviously, some of the stuff you can actually, the average job is just fixing some tiles or whatever, maybe a roof replacement, or maybe there's an extension that needs to be built and that kind of thing as well. So again, these sort of things work really, really well. And if you're not implementing these, you need a really good landing page. You need to then drive traffic to it. If you're not actually doing that, what are you doing on your marketing? Usually for most businesses, it's a little bit here and a little bit there. There's a lack of consistency. There's no paid ads. It's all organic content. And obviously Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn, they're throttling that content that's going out, that organic content, because they want you to move over to paid advertising. And paid advertising works as long as you've actually got an offer, a funnel, a follow-up, retargeting in place. And most people, of course, they don't know how to do that. So if you get stuck and you want to know how to do that, come and hit us up. The link's down below and we'll help you. And other than that, that's it for today. Let me know if you've got any questions.